Story time. So, um, what is the Zodiac experience? How did that name come about and what it is? So, this can be answered in two parts. First part is the word Zodiac, where that came from. So, welcome. Nice to meet you all. I am Alonzo Ray Allen, right? Third. Well, let's start with the word Zodiac. Me, Alonzo Ray Allen. Zoe is kind of like a nickname that I've always went by. So Zoe of the Zodiac represents my name. The Z-O spelled exactly just like that. Not Z-O-E, not Zoe. Zoe, right? So let's start with that. D-Yak. It's more like the talk. So it's Zoe the talk, right? And there's a story behind that. That name was actually given to me, I would say a good maybe over a decade ago when I was younger. I'm talking 2006, 7, 8, around that time, young, fresh out of high school, playing video games, hanging out with friends, just trying to be myself and have a good time. Well, I had a lot of friends and all that I hung out with, both um outside of just hanging out, going over to their house, or they coming over, going out, eating, whatever, just enjoying life. And in the video game space, I had friends that were, around the nation, maybe even around the world. But there's a couple of particular friends that I played Call of Duty. This is when it was at the height of what it is. Not like now, like the beginning, like the first Nuketown, if you ever know what that is, that type of map. And during this time, I, believe it or not, was actually a musician. I was an artist, rapped, and more of a lyricist. I was heavily influenced by, one of my favorite all times, Lupe Fiasco. There's a gospel rapper by the name of Seven that a great friend of mine introduced me to, and I loved his music. More the Common, Talib Kweli, Pharoah Monch, Jay Z, American Gangster album, I think was amazing. But everybody that had a story to tell, I was intrigued on following along the picture that they described with their words. I was intrigued by that, not just rappers, more of lyricists. So with that, I wanted to try it out. This is part of me trying to find my way. And I became really good, to the point that even one time in 2012, I was invited to perform at, a Super Bowl party. And this is when the Super Bowl came to, 2012? Yeah, the Super Bowl came to Indianapolis, Indiana. This is kind of where, no one gonna get a swagger like us. The artist that came out with that song, she was here and she did something that was kind of like crazy, or I don't know, she like flicked off the camera or something. I don't know what she did, but she did something crazy, right? And it was no, I think even Snoop Dogg was here, but there was 10 parties that you had to go, where all these celebrities and all this stuff. I was invited to perform at one of those parties, and that party was like the only party that was away from downtown, though. It was kind of at a building on 86 in Michigan. Was more on the north side, at a hotel. The Olympic team was there, and all kind of other breakthrough artists from the city that was trying to do something and represent Indianapolis in a big way and introduce people to new artists, or people that were on the Olympic team, etc., etc. So I was invited to do that, and I figured that word Zodiac was given from a friend because I rapped and I was lyrical, and they heard my music. I was on iTunes, I was on this, and they was like, "Man, you got something to say, right? How you use your words is phenomenal." And I was like, "Cool." I mean, I'm not at a level that I think I could be. I'm still working on it, but it was great. And those same individuals played the game with me, and I was usually scoring amongst the highest. So the crazy thing came about. He was like, man, Zodyac. And he was actually referring to the horror story, the Zodiac killers, where he was kind of coming from. But I saw it in a different way. I saw it as you see it today. Zodyac, Zo the talk. Even though that's where he was kind of mean and joking around. I know that's very, very sensitive subject, but that's where he was kind of coming from with it. But I wasn't. I saw it in a different light. And I decided to take it. I'm like, I'm gonna use that. And I made my name out of it, and as an artist, and went forward. Fast forward, the music pursuit didn't go quite as well. End up, putting that down because at that time I had my oldest son. I have two boys, and I decided if I'm gonna pursue this journey, I'm gonna be on the road a lot, and I'm gonna miss a lot of his upbringing, his life, and I didn't want to do that. So I decided to put that down and go a different way where I can be a part of his life from day to day at that time. And you know, I decided to get into technology. I figured, hey, I like computers. I like the new phones. I like the new game consoles. I like the new gadgets. I like the new TVs. I like the new stuff. Let me get into that. I've That's pretty much a good industry to get into. My brother-in-law it still is a part of the IT profession, but you know, maybe I'll give it a try. So I put that down, put the name down, went to college. At that time was Indiana, like no, it was like PC Pro Schools or something like that. 10-month program where you go, you learn, you get a bunch of certifications, and they push you out there to the world. Did that, and this is probably around 2013, I would say. Yeah, 2013. Going into 14. I did that. It was a 10-month course, got all my certifications, ended up getting a job. At this time, I was working at a private school before or while I was trying to get that education. And keep that nameless, but I was working at a private school and trying to move forward. And I wanted to work for the IT department at that school, hardware tech. It didn't work. The timing was bad. Then, I ended up working for another place, like a call center to help people with computers, over the phone, um, you know, amongst like nurses and helping them with their programs and all kinds of stuff. Fast forward from there a little bit. A year or two later after that, life kicks in. A year or two later, I hear that the person that was at the hardware tech at their school has left. And I used to live out of town at that time, and I just moved back into town. And my grandmother was like, why not try that school again? See if they got any openings. And I was like, you know what? I wasn't even thinking about that. So I said, and I'm going to just go up there. Instead of searching online, I'm going to just go up there. I went up there and everything just kind of clicked. I was probably back into town because I moved out of town. I moved back. This is probably like within a week. And I come to find out they were actually looking for me. They was like, hey, because a couple of people that worked there knew like my brother-in-law, knew part of my family and everything, and they were looking for me because they knew I was interested in that position, and I just happened to show up. And the crazy thing about that is the very next day they actually already decided to give that position to someone else. The only thing they did not do is send the actual acceptance letter and send the and notify them that they're choosing them. They were about to do that the very next day until I showed up. And when I showed up, it was like meant to be because it was like, man, we actually gave up on you. We were looking for you and now you here. So because of that, they try to do everything that same day. Give me this, boom, boom. I need this from you. I need that from you and everything. And I got the job, So who they were going with originally at the very last second, even after that last second, they changed their mind because they didn't send that and they went with me. And I worked there for about 5 more years. This is like 2015. And no, 4 years to be exact. 2015 and 2014 or not 14, but between this time period, let's do that. Between this time period, I about halfway, I say 2016, I was getting into some sustainable energy and everything. And I know it's a long story. I told you it was a long story. But getting sustainable energy, I started my company in 2016. But, I was having sit downs with Purdue University and all of these other places trying to get this going, but it wouldn't really prevail. Also, during this time in 2018, I had my youngest son, two boys, two sons. I had my youngest at this time. And I'm like, man, I need to really make more money. Let me figure out what I can do to bring in more money, to support my boys. And I would sit there and I was stressed out trying to figure it out. And for like a year's time, I be going home, or I'll go home from a hard day's work, and I'll turn on YouTube. I'll turn on massages and just to soothe, because I never had a massage at this time, which is unbelievable. But I'll turn on that to just calm me. I'll turn on ASMR. That's how I found out about that. I'll turn on chiropractic. I was even going to go to chiropractic school first, but I didn't want to spend another 4 years or so. And I was like, yeah, I can do that later. But what can I do to get into something now? Right. So with that, I was like, it took me about a year to even realize and get to this point of giving this a try. Because as a hardware tech during this time, I realized it wasn't the technology that I was liking. It was actually helping people with technology that was pulling me in. And I was like, man, I'm an actual people person that I didn't know. I'm usually kind of like a introvert, usually to myself, or unless you know me, we hang out that way. But I really kind of keep to myself a little bit. But during this is when I found out about myself. And it was about a year of trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. But like I said, during this time, I'm watching just to relax off the stress of trying to figure out life, watching these videos, massage videos, ASMRs, chiropractic, etc., etc. And it just dawned on me where I was like, you know what? Let me get at a try. Let me let me try that and see what it is, because they help people that, as far as I know, I believe they've helped people. They help people at least to relieve the stress, but I don't know anything else at that time that they can really do. So let me research and researched, and I come across a school that wasn't even too far away from the job I was working at, which was also a school. And at that time, they were named Indiana Massage College. And with Indiana Massage College, I set up a day. I called to get more information. They invited me to come out, sit down with them, and to talk and see what they do. I said, okay, no problem. So I end up going there. This is 2018. I ended up going there. When I came in, it's almost like a certificate. It had my name in it. Alonzo Allen, welcome. It was decorated. I was like, oh, I feel like home already. Okay, that's what we doing. Okay. Right? So I get there and we sit down, and it was a guy named Quentin, no longer there. He moved on to do something else. But this guy named Quentin that sat down. He showed me around. He showed me like the computers. He showed me the classroom. He showed me all of this stuff. Okay. Showing me all of this stuff that I was like, wow, they were really in here doing it. But he also blew my mind with the anatomy portion of it that I never paid attention to in high school anyway. In high school, I just wanted to get out of school. Right. But now I'm actually going back to school, because I always used to think when I was in high school, it's like, I'm not paying nobody to give me homework. Well, it's always been like that. Just the parents pay. Right. But that's how I thought about it. And I just wanted a break. But back to the story. He showed me some things before that I didn't think was even possible with massages, how beneficial it is, and things that you can do, or things we can do as licensed massage therapists. License is right there. And you didn't see that napkin tissue. You saw it? Okay, don't worry about it. So he showed me that, and I was like, wow, really? And I was just blown away. And I was like, man, I still at that point have not ever received a massage. I said, okay, let's try it out. So I tried to go. I went through the process to go through the school, and it was something like, after we went through all that, I had to go get my information, my documentation, all that stuff to go through the process. Indiana Massage College at this time. So with that, I got that. And then what ended up happening is I needed to pay a certain fee at that time. It was probably like $80 or something like that, give or take. And I didn't have it, to be honest with you. It wasn't, if it wasn't for a particular friend, one of my best friends ever, that also worked at that school, she actually was like, "Oh, I believe what you're doing. I believe, hey, I'll give it to you. Here's that." And I didn't go asking her like, "I need some money." She was like, "I'm trying to do this, but I'm trying to come up with this." And she was like, "How about I just give it to you? You know, because I'm tired of this school too, and I'm always looking forward to investing in one another, investing in people. I give it to you." And I was kind of like, "Wow, well, she really made an impact on me because if that wouldn't have happened, I probably wouldn't be here today." So I always appreciate her. I've been giving her free massages and everything like that. But now she got to the point, she's like, "All right, you paid me back enough now. I want to support you with this, with your vision and everything to this day." When she did that, I was able to do that. I was able to start school. Indiana Massage College, here I am. I'm in class. There wasn't any desks. There was actually massage tables we sat at. Got introduced to the teachers and everything. Learned draping, which is a big thing that we talk about at a later episode. But learned all the draping, all the professions, and just went to school and learned all of it that I know to this day. Basically setting the foundation. So doing that, about time it's time to graduate, going through all the obstacles. I was working around the clock during school. I was working at that school as a hardware tech. I was working retail. I was working, not just retail third shift. I was also working um, fast food restaurants. I was working anywhere I can work to just try to stay afloat. And did what I had to do. I was able to support my boys and everything. And by the time I graduate, the school goes through a name change and it becomes what is known today Indiana Wellness College, because now they're starting to train estheticians and they're growing from there. And they made more space and all that stuff is awesome. So I graduated Indiana Wellness College, got into the industry, and at that time I actually end up losing my my bread and butter as a hardware tech because they wanted someone to be there a little bit longer. So we actually part ways. And this is the day before I was taking the big state board exam test that unfortunately at that time I didn't pass. And I was going to reschedule it, but you have to give a 72-hour window. And I end up departing from my job at that time and taking this exam within 24 hours. All this is happening. So I'm going into this exam and I'm like, man, I gotta make it. I gotta pass this. I gotta get my license and everything. It has to happen. So extra pressure got on me because my boys are dependent on me. My boys are dependent on it. They need me. They need this. And I go in, I give it my best swing, knowing I'm not mentally prepared because I just lost a job that was basically taking care of them. So now I got to work more at the fast food and the retail to do what I was doing at one job. And I was using or doing the retail and the fast food to bring in extra. Now I gotta supplement or basically put it in place of what I was doing. So my money started to get short. I was like, oh man, how am I gonna get through? And it was a very tough time. But I was focused. I studied for like a month. Um and I took it again because you take that test within 30, or you need at least 30 days before you could take it again. Took the test again. Once I take the test, pass the test, I passed it the second time, and I just dropped, and I just thank God that I was able to get past this. So now there's nothing stopping me from getting my license until about a month later, right? And about a month later, what ended up happening is fill out this application. There was a franchise that wanted me to be a part of that, and I had to go through that process. There's a lot of process. And I accepted that offer they gave me, but I can't get in or start working that until I actually physically get my license. So about a month goes, September ends up happening, and fill out the application and everything. And I was it was a misunderstanding, a miscommunication, a misthing. There was a error in my application, right? And that took about 3 months to fix. And it got to the point where I had to even stand in front of the state board at that time to get my license. And this is about November at this time. I graduated July 27th, 2019. And it took till November 8th, I believe to be exact. 8th, 10th. Well, I didn't receive it till the 10th, but November 8th to actually get approved to have my license. And once I stayed in the state or was in front of the state board, they were not even interested for anything or anything. We figured that out. They were like, "Yep, we're gonna give it to you. Malfunction, we good. You got it." So by the time I get it, I told the job, I told everybody, I finally got it. I'm happy. I'm cheering. Like, man, it took forever. I finally got it. I'm about to be doing things, right? And I went and started work there. I kind of waited about 7 weeks or whatever at that time because there was still more things I had to do and make room for because I was working this job and it's about to get rid of one of them to do this because one of them was during the day, so I couldn't do that. So I gave them like a 2 weeks notice to do that and made it happen. I started working at this franchise. And all this happening, I knew even when I started school that, like I said before, I was going to use that name and repurpose it from being an artist to what is known for today, right? So I become super popular at this franchise and become like the top therapist. They wanted me to be the lead therapist and wanted this, but I always knew, even when I was at school, that I was going to be my own boss so I can enjoy every day with my boys when I have them, enjoy every day. I'm not waiting for Saturday. I'm not waiting for the weekend to get here because, I mean, let's think about it. Monday is the only day that's thought about twice. Once Sunday comes, I got to prepare for Monday. Once Monday's here, oh my goodness, it's Monday, right? It's crazy how we can throw so many times and moments away in life because we're waiting to live for a Saturday. I mean, think about it. Even Friday, if you work first shift, if you're lucky to work first shift, maybe that night you do something. Then Saturday you can do whatever you want. And then Sunday come around, you spend that whole day getting ready for Monday. Or most of that day getting ready for Monday. Until Monday going, and then it's a cycle. So really, out of those 30 days, you're living 4 days a week. I didn't want that. And I didn't want anybody telling me my schedule. I wanted to be in control of it all and actually be able to live every day. And because of the school, Indiana Massage College, that's now Indiana Wellness College, because of them, I'm able to do that. And you want to know the crazy thing about it is going through that whole process, even to get into that school, you have to take a test, right? And I took that test and I really didn't pass. You get 2 times to take a test. I really didn't pass it. I had to sit down in front of the owners and they had to ask me or wanted me to prove to them why should they give me an opportunity to get into the school to learn massage therapy. And pretty much what I told you all is what I told them. And they saw my my passion in what I do, to who I am. And I did it before because the process is very similar to the IT, 10 months. Everything is like I did it before. I can do it again. And I want to live. I want to enjoy my life. And they gave me the opportunity. So I'm forever grateful for that school, Indiana Wellness College. I salute. And that's in Indianapolis, Indiana. Right? But going forward, 2 years is bringing us to, this is 2019 when I graduated and everything like that. Fast forward to 2021. It's time. 2021, the beginning of 2021, I released a video on my Facebook and I've been going, and it's been blowing up ever since. Thanks to, um, a client and her husband, they were able to make a great video, and her husband has 9 Emmys and made videos for IKEA, made videos for the Democratic Party of that election during that time, and everything, which is really just last year. But the beginning, that was actually recorded in 2020, but I was able to release it January 2nd. And also during this time is when I said it's time to use the name Zodyac. It's time to put out what people have been saying all along about their experience having a session with me. It's time to be able to live again like you was back in high school, where you wasn't really worrying about nothing. You were just enjoying every day. It's finally here. It's finally time. And it took from 2018 to 2021 to get to this moment. I mean, don't get me wrong. At the franchise, I was able to enjoy my day a little bit more, but it's nothing like today. It's nothing like the freedom to enjoy every day. Yes, it's more responsibility. Yes, I can sign my own paychecks and pay myself, but that all comes from the support of my clients. My clients believe in my vision. My clients believe in what I do, and I'm able to make an impact and help my clients benefit and from massage in the best way possible. I have nothing but love, care, and respect for all my clients, because without them, you wouldn't be seeing me today. And I don't look at any of my clients like a number, unlike franchises. Franchises, I believe, see people as numbers. I see people as people that needs help. And it's experienced each session, one session at a time. And that's what created the Zodyac experience. Meaning, the talk, but now the talk is about reputation. My reputation as a licensed massage therapist. My reputation about the service that I'm able to give and the benefits I'm able to provide to help one's well-being as best as I possibly can. And if you don't believe that, the stories is on Google. Look it up for yourself. The Zodyac, Zodyac experience. You can read it from yourself. All the evidence is there, and it's still growing. And this is what? April 7th, 2022? They're still coming in. And I'm still encourage reviews to go in, because they need to be shared. Just like I'm sharing my story today, they need to be shared. And there's nothing wrong with sharing those videos. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what the Zodyac experience is about. That's the story behind it. And that is how the name got developed. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand the Zodiac signs and everything like that. I understand all of that. And that is also implemented as add-ons. Each Zodiac sign has an element: fire, water, earth, and air. And I'm Team Aquarius, to be honest. But, Team Aquarius. I mean, this is not Aquarius. This is actually the Zodiac experience. This is simple. This is everything. But I understand, I implement those. So like hot stones and hot towels and everything are all the fire element. Air elements such as like things like cupping, right? Or Reiki, energy work. Energy work. And some of them overlap. Like Reiki is also, to me, like the earth sign add-on, because to me, we come from the earth. And with that, there's nothing better earth element wise but to be in a deeper relaxation and a work within self, right? So that's where that comes from. And last but not least, the water sign. And then there's techniques like raindrop therapy. I'm trying to grow the company to getting float tanks, Vici treatments, and everything like that to incorporate the water. But for now, it's just like raindrop therapy. But I treat the elements as the add-on. So for the ones that's thinking about like the zodiac signs and everything, that's how it's tied into the company by the elements, right? But that's the second meaning. The first meaning is based off of the story that was just told, which is one heck of a story. Maybe kind of got off track for a minute, but all of it comes together to get to this point. So I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate all the ones that support. I appreciate the ones who's willing to support, who support more. I appreciate you all. It's nothing but love. Zodiac Experience. Mr. Zodiac himself signing out. Take care. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can get notified on the new uploads to the channel. If you're watching this on my website, thezodiacexperience.com, make sure you join the email list where you can get notified on new episodes or even a chance to join the live show, me and the audience, and even get some cool gear like this jacket and shirt. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple, iTunes, whatever you are, make sure you follow so you can get notified as well. And last but not least, if you're not following me on any of the social platforms, IG, Facebook, TikTok, etc., everything is at the Zodiac Experience. All the links, everything else could be found down below. Appreciate you tuning in. Once again, thank you. And remember to resync back to yourself.